Lightsabers are one of the most prominent trademarks of the Star Wars universe, and have been noticed closely by fans in every film and television series. As we know, they're elegant weapons that were used in a more civilized time. However, fans just couldn't help but notice the terrifying details that went into the lightsabers in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. In this video, we'll be talking about those details and how they came to be. First, Brad Elliott's descriptions of what went into Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. During an interview with the official Star Wars site, Brad Elliott, the prop master of the Disney Plus series, described the details that went into these lightsabers. Brad said that he, along with his team, incorporated the very complex lore of both prequel and sequel films of Star Wars in order to create these lightsabers for the show. It was up to his team to come up with something completely different, and that was certainly not an easy task. A description given by Brad was that the design of the previous lightsabers had to be mixed together in order to create a totally unique outcome. He revealed that most challenging thing for them was to design the titular Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber. This was because the prop designer in previous Star Wars films had used similar patterns, but they couldn't be exactly copied here. The emitter of the weapon was particularly upgraded to match the Genesis original more closely. The hand that was once pristine now felt like an artifact that had been buried in a desert for around 10 years. He said that the lightsabers used in the Revenge of the Sith were more shiny and small in size compared to the ones used in A New Hope. Obi-Wan Kenobi's character was coming from three major losses: the loss of a battle, the devastating fall of the Jedi Order, and the death of his best friend. Since he was carrying the weight of his past, his lightsaber was also supposed to be one reflecting all those previous events. Part of this is what made his lightsaber in the series so terrifying. It's because in a symbolic way, the weapon foreshadowed all his inner demons, including every tragedy that occurred in his life so far. Some thought process was required in order to understand it thoroughly. Second, details of Darth Vader's lightsaber in Obi-Wan Kenobi. The other lightsaber whose detail fans noticed closely was Darth Vader's. This one was comparatively more straightforward as compared to Obi-Wan Kenobi's, but it doesn't come as a surprise to anyone because everything about the villain is usually quite uncomplicated, as shown in the films in the series. Despite the passage of time and events, he still hasn't been seen using what people call the Skywalker saber yet. Originally, this was designed by George Lucas to be used in the film A New Hope. Instead, the one he used was designed by himself, still a Padawan. The hilt of the lightsaber was exactly the same one that was used by him when he assumed the role of Darth Vader. In other words, he probably felt more comfortable using this one than the Skywalker saber. Why we think it's reasonable for him is because it's easier to use in duels. That's kind of what makes a villain weapon so scary, especially when they're comfortable with using it. But that isn't all. Darth Vader, or as some call him Anakin, is seen trying very hard to be straightforward, but deep inside, he's just a bundle of emotions. After achieving the status of Jedi Knight and ceasing to become a Padawan, he creates the Skywalker saber, and it immediately becomes his go-to weapon. The terrifying thing about his weapon isn't in its physical features, it's how much intensity he puts into using the lightsaber. It remains his signature weapon until the part where we see him falling to the forces of the dark side after he loses a fight with Obi-Wan Kenobi in the film Revenge of the Sith. This shows how his relationship with the weapon changes. He aims to become a full-fledged Jedi warrior so that he can be one of the only two Siths in the entire galaxy. So yes, in the Disney Plus series and in the Star Wars films, Darth Vader's lightsaber has a lot to say about his personality as a whole, and thinking about it, that's exactly what makes it so chilling. Next, the availability of Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber in real life. Believe it or not, the lightsaber used by Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Disney Plus series will soon be available in stores physically. This will indeed give fans a clearer idea of what details went into it when the props team was working on it. The Obi-Wan Kenobi Force FX Elite lightsaber will have a number of features identical to the ones seen in the show. For example, it'll have an intricate handle, some extremely realistic sound effects, and most importantly, LEDs. These will be used to respond to external forces and give it a natural look, so it'll be just like having an actual lightsaber in hand. In addition to this, it'll also include a removable blade and a display stand so you can set it up somewhere like an antique. Fans who are interested in collecting Star Wars items definitely shouldn't miss this. Perhaps having it in hand and getting a closer look at the physical features will tell why it's deemed so terrifying and significant in the show. For younger fans, it'll be a source of delight because the advanced LEDs in its blade will show the various lighting effects also seen in the series. The tip will shine and sparkle just like it did in various scenes where Obi-Wan Kenobi is seen holding it. The only drawback is the blade can't be drawn back and forth. Instead, it has to be removed from the lightsaber entirely. Oh, and it'll cost around $280. But don't worry, if you're really interested in seeing the details with your own eyes, it'll be worth the money. Next, in other related news, Deborah Chow hints at the second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi. The director of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Deborah Chow, recently addressed fans with a hint that the show may be returning for a second season. Initially, the series was supposed to be a spin-off movie, but they ended up splitting it into episodes. Having received generally positive reviews from audiences and critics alike, it seemed like the majority is in favor of renewal. While speaking with Radio Times, Deborah said that although it was supposed to be a limited series, there are still many more storylines to continue. There isn't official confirmation that it'll return, but the idea is definitely being considered. After all, fans look forward to seeing more of the Star Wars universe. This decision primarily depends on what they plan to include in Season 2. If it's a worthwhile narrative, the team would most definitely go ahead with the project. For example, if Obi-Wan is made to leave Tatooine, that would just repeat the events of this season all over again. Leia could also be made the main character this time, but it could seem more like a spin-off rather than a show about Obi-Wan. Another possibility is that the season could take place entirely on Tatooine, exploring Obi-Wan and Owen's relationship in depth. This is something several fans have been wanting to see for a long time. This way his character would be portrayed on screen in a new light. Next, Obi-Wan Kenobi's exclusive marathon screenings in US theaters make history. The majority of the viewers must have seen the series on Disney Plus, as an episode came out every week. However, the entire season was also chosen to play in select theaters in the US, with the streaming service making history. On the 22nd of July, the day the finale came out, all 6 episodes were screened in certain theaters for audiences. This totaled 5 hours and 20 minutes long show for those who sat till the very end. This happens to be the first Disney Plus show playing in theaters altogether in the US. Fans have been wondering whether more shows will be screened in cinemas like this in the future or not. We can't say for sure, but it sounds like a fascinating initiative. Lastly, Leia's original costume described as a major influencer on Rey's hood. Believe it or not, Leia's original costume in the old Star Wars movies has been revealed as the inspiration for Rey's hood. The hood, worn by her in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, was noticed and praised by several fans in the film. Turns out it was based on Leia's wardrobe. The hood was reportedly designed to highlight Rey's connection to Leia. The costume designer said he made her a new look that paid homage to Carrie Fisher's appearance in the series. It's honestly great to see how much thought process went into foreshadowing that literally happened through costumes. The tiniest details in Rey's hood were purposely chosen as a tribute to Carrie. In a way, these details also represent the significance of the Master-Padawan bond they share with each other. Leia knew who Rey was before the latter realized it herself, and this was because she knew Rey would play a part in redeeming her son. So technically, Leia's love for Rey was an indirect depiction of her love for Ben Solo. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the lightsaber shown in Obi-Wan Kenobi? Let us know in the comments below. Do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification for similar videos. See you in the next one.